So I welcome you. I welcome you once again for this fourth lecture rather. Uh, Today, as I mentioned earlier, today we are going to start actual teaching. This yesterday, day before yesterday, 2 days particular. This is third day rather. Last 2 weeks, last 2 days rather, we discuss about all your do's and don'ts. I got an opportunity to understand you. I understood through having interaction with you. I understood what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, what are your goals, right? It is going to be helpful for me to address your queries and uh, 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 I mean, queries could be related to your curriculum, or it could be your personal queries as well. Because now I to some extent, I could understand you properly. Number one. Then we had a orientation lecture. In orientation, I told you that success is you don't have any truly speaking shortcut for success. But at the same time, I also told you that duplication can be a shortcut for success. But if you want to duplicate it, what should be done and what should not be done, that also we have discussed. Moreover, I told you the importance of doing SOC analysis as well, like how important it is going to be for every individual. It's not only student, but for every individual, how important the SOC analysis is going to be. That also we have discussed. Today, we are going to start the actual curriculum. So let me again tell you, I'm going to teach you HRSC microprocessor interfacing, one of the elective course. This is what the learning objective and learning outcomes are. As far as learning objective is concerned, you will be able to understand the concept of microprocessor and assembly language programming, the concept of interfacing devices at laboratory as well as industry level. You will be able to get an opportunity to enter into the entrepreneurship. These are the couple of objectives of this particular course. As far as learning outcomes are concerned, learning outcomes or course outcome is what the student will be able to do after completion of this course. Once you complete this course, you will be able to do all these 5 things. What are those? You will be able to compare and analyze microprocessor architecture, physical and logical configuration of memory, microprocessor programming and interfacing. You will be able to analyze the process of industrial automation. You will be able to design automation system process using HRSC microprocessor. You will be able to develop manufacturing unit for microprocessor based automated devices, and you will be able to develop HRSC microprocessing programming for various industrial controls. What does it mean? It means that by the end of this course, by the completion of this course, he will be having a substantial knowledge of fundamental of microprocessor, its hardware part, software part, programming, interfacing, so that you can become a teacher. Number one, you can become an employee and teach in the classes, teach in the colleges or university, or you can start your own enterprise as well. You can start your own business, right? It could be a trade-off business, or like the business which will provide some sort of home automation or industrial automation. So that kind of opportunity you will be having, provided you are proactive. Let me tell you, whatever course outcome I'm telling you, these course outcome you will be able to attain all those only if you are proactive. Because I'm here to tell you, but everything cannot be taught in the class, because we will be having limited shortage of time. But if you are really interested, you need to come forward and do lot of experimentation whenever the face-to-face classes are going to be started. First, this is the course content. First, in introduction part, we are going to discuss hardware part. Okay, it's architecture, pinout diagram, and addressing mode. Right. Second, unit 2 and 3 would be software part, because there are a different group of instruction. In unit 2 or chapter 2, we are going to discuss 3 different group of instruction, which are called as a data movement instruction, arithmetic, and logical instruction. These are 3 group of instruction we are going to discuss in chapter 2. And program control instruction, very important group of instruction we are going to discuss in chapter 3. and assembly language programming, because you need to understand. I'm going to talk about the difference between machine language and assembly language programming. And chapter 4 will be interfacing of IO devices. So in all, we are going to discuss hardware part, software part, and interfacing. So this is going to be a flow of our learning process during this entire year. And these are the books you can refer. As I mentioned earlier, Barry Bray is a wonderful book, but you can refer Douglas Hall and Openbeck as well. So all these 4 books are good. It depends on what kind of, of course, the language level of this Barry Bray and Douglas Hall is little bit high, but that is why I'm advising you to refer all those books, all the 4 books, 5 books rather. The 4th one is for microcomputer system, but for 1, 2, 3, and 5th, these are for microprocessor, and you can choose any one of the book to which you are more compatible. So let us start with chapter 1. I was talking about computer. So computer is, let me repeat again, computer is having 3 different kind of section: input device, output device, and the CPU. And these are the pictures of various versions of, right from first generation to the latest generation of computers. Because we know, you must have heard that first generation computer used to be like very big, like maybe of 20 by 20 room size, right? Because different units, like the input units, for input unit itself, there used to be many locations, many devices. For central processing unit, we used to have many devices, and similarly, same thing was true for output devices. And we used to require more number of people to handle single computer. But now we know the smallest computer is mobile. We have, like, it's not mobile. We have a computer in pen also. When writing pen, we have computer in pen also. But wherever, whether it is first generation computer or advanced computer, you are going to have 3 units, right? First unit, input device; second unit, CPU; and third unit is going to be output device. This is the first von Neumann architecture of computer, very famous. As I mentioned earlier, you can see this is input device, output device, and this is the central processing unit. In central processing unit, we have a control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and memory unit, right? Now, CPU. What is CPU? Microprocessor itself is a CPU. Okay, microprocessor itself is a CPU. There are different microprocessors that we are going to discuss in next slide. But CPU consisting of control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and memory unit. What is role of input device? Role of input device is to provide data for processing. So whenever we are talking about processing, the data can be provided through input device. Output device, whatever data you have processed, the processed data can be stored on the output device. Whereas the central processing unit, whenever you are providing data, the data is going to be processed. Process means what? Either you will be having arithmetic operation or logical operation. So all those arithmetic and logical operation will be performed in this middle unit. But whenever you are talking about arithmetic and logical operation, you need memory in between. I can quote example. जैसे कि मान लो आपको मैंने बताया 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2?
4.
4. Yes. 4 plus 4?
8.
Yes. 28 plus 48?
20 plus 50.
You are taking time, right? You are taking time. I know that. Because whenever you are talking about bigger number, you are going to take a pause, right? And you are going to process that, right? Because memory, because 2 plus 2, 4, it is also processing. I know. Even it is 2 plus 2 is 4, it is also processing, but this is because we know, like, these are small number, you can process it quickly. But whenever you are coming across bigger number, it will take a little bit more time, right? And whenever you are talking about time, it has to be stored in your memory. Let us say 2 plus 2 is 4. Are you going to ignore 4? No. Are you going to forget 4? No. You will be remembering 4, right? Because it's not only this moment. Even after half an hour, if I ask you what was the answer of last question, you will say 4. Because if this is the latest question, 2 plus 2 is 4 is the latest question. What is 2 plus 2? If this is the latest question, आधे घंटे के बाद मैं आपको पूछता हूँ कि भाई what is 2 plus 2? So what you will say? You will say 4 because you are going to store it in the memory. Kindly mute yourself, everybody. Whenever you will be asking question, at that time only you should unmute. Otherwise, mute yourself. जब आप सवाल करोगे तभी उसको unmute करो. Otherwise, mute करके रखो. Right? So it means as far as the central processing unit is concerned, it requires internal memory, right, for storing the intermediate data, intermediate data. Therefore, as far as computer is concerned, there are two different kind of memories of the computer. One is internal memory, which is called as ROM and RAM, and external memory, which is called as compact discs like CD, floppy disk. Floppy disk is absolute now, but you must have heard about floppy disk. पहले आपने शायद पढ़ा होगा, सुना होगा. But now we call it as a pen drive, right? Pen drive or hard disk. Okay, these are external memories. Internal memories are going to be semiconductor memories like ROM, RAM. Okay, these are the internal memories. वैसे हमारे भी internal memories है, right? हमारा जो किताब होता है ना, that is the external memory, kind of CD. Okay, किताब जो होता है, किताब notebook, it is a kind of CD, it's kind of pen drive. But whatever memory we have here, it is our ROM, RAM. So everybody has ROM, RAM as well as external memory. Can you be dependent only on external memory like notebook? No, you cannot be dependent only on notebook. Can you be dependent only on internal memory? No, because I'm sure today you must be having some notebook with you. You are taking some notes. Why? Because this memory has got some limitations, and therefore you need external memory. So, like human being, we also cannot survive without internal and external memory. Survive in the sense you cannot work efficiently without internal and external memory. आप अगर आपके पास अगर internal memory नहीं, मान लो you don't have external memory, what will happen? You will be having limitations if you don't have external memory. And if you don't have internal memory, what will happen? If you don't have internal memory, what will happen?
We cannot
remember anything, right? अगर तुम्हारा इंटरनल मेमोरी नहीं, इसमें कोई दिमाग नहीं है, तो क्या होगा? You will be treated as a crazy person, right? Okay, तो आपको कुछ याद नहीं रख पाओगे आप, तो हम आपण त्याला मराठीत काय म्हणतो? पागल आहे हा, right? Because he is not able to remember anything. That is why we call it as a crazy person, right? So like that, computer should also have internal memory. That is why this memory unit is all going to be very important. So whenever some arithmetic and logical operations are going to be performed, it is going to be temporarily stored in internal memory, and when it is once the complete process is over, it can be stored at the external memory. Similarly, you need to have a control unit, because whatever the processes it is going to happen in the memory system and in CPU, that is going to be controlled by the control unit. जैसे कि हमारा you can see I'm moving my hands, right? Who is controlling this? My brain is controlling, right? My brain is controlling, and moreover, whatever hands I am moving, it has got some synchronization with my statements, right? It has got some synchronization with my statements. If my movement of my hands are not synchronizing with my statement, again हम उसको क्या कहेंगे? पागल आदमी कहेंगे, क्योंकि बोलेगा कुछ और, हाथ कुछ और कर रहेंगे उसके, right? So that is why the control unit is going to play very important role in human being as well as computer. So this is what the first architecture, one Neumann architecture of computer is all about. Now, what is microcomputer, right? So we talked about computer, then what is going to be microcomputer? So whether it is computer or microcomputer, these units are going to be same, like CPU. Okay, CPU, what is the role of CPU? Processes information stored in the memory. Whatever information which is stored in memory, it is going to be processed by CPU, which is called as microprocessor, which we are going to discuss in this entire course. Then memory, internal memory. I'm talking about internal memory. It stores both instructions as well as data. So memory is going to store instruction. Like instruction का मतलब क्या है? जैसे कि मान लो मैंने कहा तुमको कि what is 2 plus 2? This is instruction. So you are going to store that, right? And then 2 plus 2 is addition. What is the answer? Answer is 4. That also going to be stored. So 2 plus 2 is data. 4 is again data. That also you are going to store. And I'm asking question like what is 2 plus 2? This is instruction. That instruction also you are going to store in the memory. It means memory stores both instruction as well as data in ROM and RAM. Then we have got input-output ports, provide means of communicating with the CPU. So input-output ports means like this is going to provide an opportunity for us to communicate to the computer. Like we are providing data. So through keyboard we can provide, or through floppy disk, through pen drive you can provide the data. Similarly, the processed data has to be appear on screen. जैसे कि अभी मेरे screen पे दिख रहा है, right? This is processed data. So again, I need output device. So this our input output device means this is the kind of devices which are going to provide an opportunity for us to have communication with CPU. Then apart from that, we have got concept of bus. Okay, so bus means what, you know, what is the in usually whatever bus we are using for transportation, what is the purpose of that bus? The purpose of bus is to transport something from one place to another. It could be public transport, it could be passenger, I mean it could be passenger transport, or it could be goods, right? Transporting of some material from one place to another, or some transporting human being from one place to another, right? Similarly, we have got concept of bus in the microprocessor as well, right? So there are three different kind of buses: address bus, data bus, and control bus. What is address bus? Let me tell you, my friend. There are two, because moreover, in as far as microprocessor is concerned, buses means group of wires. Buses means group of wires, right? So bus, if you somebody ask you what is bus, bus is actually a group of wires which are going to be useful for transporting data from one place to another. Okay, now if you are transporting data, this is going to be referred as a data bus. If you are transporting address, is going to be referred as address bus. And if you are transporting a control signals, is going to be a control bus. Now let me tell you the difference between these three. Like what we call as control signal. जैसे कि मैंने आपको कहा कि बेटा वहां से उठकर आप जो है अभी पीछे देखो, जैसे कि everybody is watching me, मैंने कहा कि no, you just go see, look at your back, right? पीछे क्या है, वो घर है, उसकी तरफ देखो. अगर मैंने कहा तो what you are going to do, you are going to turn your mouth, right? Turn your head, right? So this is instruction, this is control, right? So you need a control buses which will carry the control signal. So what you are going to do, you will be receiving controls, right? You will be receiving this instruction, and accordingly you are going to send a control signal to your head, right? अपने आप नहीं घूमेगा ये ब्रेन, मेरे जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस है, तो you are going to receive your instructions and then you are going to generate control signal. वो control signal तुम्हारे head को, जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि चलो ये हाथ जो है तुम्हारा ऊपर करो, right? So what you are going to do now, my hand is like this. Now I'm saying like hand ऊपर करो तो ऊपर जा रहा है. So how it is happening? So I'm generating control signal. The control signals are being generated from brain, and those control signal are reaches to my hand, right? So I need some wires to transfer that signal, right? So wires which are being used to transfer this control signal is nothing but the control bus. Okay, now let us come to data bus. Now data bus and address bus. Now let us see. Now अब मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, मैं बता रहा हूँ मेरे अपने आपको कि चलो भाई आपको दो आंखें हैं, अभी ये उंगली यहाँ पर है, अब यहाँ से हटा के यहाँ पर रखो, राइट? यहाँ से हटाकर यहाँ कर रखो. मतलब क्या है, what I have to do, this is my data, okay, this is my data, okay. Now यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ से उठाना, मतलब this is my destination, this is source. So यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ से, what is my address? Address is this. तो ये कैसे पता चलेगा मेमोरी को कि यहाँ से यहाँ पर, तो हमें वो सिग्नल भेजना पड़ेगा कि this is what your address is. So group of wires which are being used to transfer addresses called as address bus. Addresses के जहां पर हमें जाना है, राइट? जैसे कि मेरा हाथ यहाँ पर है, मैं कहूंगा यहाँ से हटाकर यहाँ पर रखो, ओके. अब यहाँ से हटा के यहाँ पे रखो, यहाँ पर रखो. So these are my addresses. I'm telling my hand to go from this place to this place to this place to this place. And this, why this is called data? Because this is moving, rather this is moving, right? Similarly, whenever so let me define this. So the signal which are the wires which are being used to transport control signal called as control bus. The wires which are being used, group of wires which are being used to transfer data called as data bus, and wires which are being used to transfer addresses called as address bus. So therefore we need to have three different buses, right? We need to have three different buses. Now let me quote one example of actual data. Let us say 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2. Now 2 plus 2 is data. Okay. So आप अगर कहेंगे कि भाई चलो मेरे पास एक कंप्यूटर है, like this is, let me, for example, let me open my calculator. Okay, so this is my calculator. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do, okay, 2 plus 2. Okay, 2 plus 2. So what is 2 plus 2? 2 plus 2 is data. 2 plus 2 is data, right? तो अभी जब मैं equal को, now I am pressing equal, I got 4 result. So what happens? I have given data to, ये 4 अपने आप नहीं आया. So this 2 plus 2 data goes to the memory, goes to the CPU of this, because this is also computed, na? Goes to the CPU. So this is my keypad. Keypad is input. I have inputted some data. That data goes to the memory. The group of wires which are being used to transfer this data from input device to the control unit called as data bus, right? अभी क्या हुआ? 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, now ये दो कहाँ पर स्टोर किया हुआ है? अब तो मैंने कीबोर्ड से दिया, but sometime what happens, you can have internal memory also. मैं ये कह सकता हूँ चलो भाई आपके पास इंटरनल मेमोरी है, इंटरनल मेमोरी के उस कोने पे एक डेटा है, उसको आपको शिफ्ट करना है. जैसे घर में मान लो तुमच्या घरामध्ये तुमच्या आईने सांगितले तुम्हाला, your mother has advised you to transfer one particular atom from kitchen to dining room or kitchen to bedroom. So your source address is kitchen, destination is bedroom. What is that atom? It could be, let us say for example, one pillow. So pillow is going to be your data, kitchen is going to be your source address, and bed is going to be destination address. लेकिन अगर ये एग्जीक्यूट करना है तो तुमको क्या पता होना चाहिए? You need to know the source address, you need to know the destination address, you need to know the data, right? तो मेमोरी को भी हमें ये 2 कहां पर है, दूसरा 2 कहां है, ये बताना पड़ेगा. तो for telling the address of that location, you need address bus. Then हमें क्या बताना है उनको कि भाई उसका एडिशन करो. एडिशन इज कंट्रोल. सो that signal, इसका एडिशन करना है. ये सिग्नल, कंट्रोल सिग्नल इज गोइंग टू बी जनरेटेड बाय कंट्रोल बस, कंट्रोल यूनिट, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू बी कम्युनिकेटेड टू द ALU, arithmetic logic unit. So the lines which are being used to transfer that instruction is called as control bus. So this is how the address bus, control bus, and data bus concept is all about. This is the more I would advise you to use this block diagram whenever you will be having the question in the examination, because in examination you may have question. What is the block diagram of draw and sketch block diagram of microcomputer system? So this would be the better diagram to draw. Okay, whenever I will be, whenever you will be having this question, you should use this diagram. Now you can see in this diagram, because why this is better, because it has got all the concept like CPU, memory, IO device, and concept of buses as well. You can see this is CPU, central processing unit. जैसे यहाँ मैंने बताया था आपको central processing unit में क्या है, control unit, arithmetic logic unit, and memory unit. We are going to discuss this in detail, because this is what the microprocessor is all about, right? So this is what the CPU is, and this memory, because you see this memory is different. This is internal memory at CPU, लेकिन ये कौन सी मेमोरी है? ये CPU की बाहर की मेमोरी है. This is also semiconductor memory. This is also semiconductor memory. This is internal memory of microcomputer. Okay, this is internal memory of microcomputer, and this is internal memory of microprocessor or CPU. So there is a difference. Both are semiconductor memories. Okay, ये CPU के अंदर है, ये CPU के बाहर है, but computer के अंदर है. Okay, so this is also internal memory of computer, but not internal memory of microprocessor. This is also semiconductor memory. IO devices, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको, it could be keyboard, it could be the hard disk, it could be pen drive, and same thing is true with IO device. Of course, keyboard cannot be input. So these are the ports. This is ports and these are devices. Ports क्या होता है? जैसे कि देखिए, we have got bus port. We call it as a bus stand, but these are bus ports rather, right? एयरपोर्ट बोलते ना हम एयर स्टैंड नहीं कहते, एयरपोर्ट बोलते, वैसे ही ये बस स्टैंड नहीं है, बस पोर्ट ही है. What we are doing, let us say Aurangabad bus stand. So whatever the buses which are going out of the Aurangabad are to be routed through that bus stand only. Whatever buses coming from other side, other cities to Aurangabad are to be landed there itself. Same thing is true with the airport. Whenever you are going to US, you have to go from the airport. Whenever you are coming from any other country, the flight is going to be landed at airport only. So, but who are the connections? Connections are the actual devices. जैसे कि air flight है, bus है. These are the actual devices. Okay. So actual I/O devices could be keyboard, input device, hard disk, output device, monitor. ये जो computer का monitor है, ये monitor output device है. Display boards, floppy disk, hard disk, pen drive. These are the output devices. And concept of buses I already told you. Now I will take a pause a little bit because this is going to be very important. If you are having any question about this microcomputer system, because this is you may have this question in the examination, that draw a well labeled, draw and explain the label diagram of microcomputer system. So you will have to draw this diagram and explain. So if you are having any doubt about any point, you can unmute yourself and ask me question. Anybody can unmute yourself and ask me question.
Sir, what's the difference between device and port?
Difference I told you, but again let me tell you. Let us say bus stand is port and bus is device. Okay, airport is port, air flight is device. Similarly here, keyboard is device, and port means there would be one chip there which will connect input device to the memory, input device to the control system. So that would be a kind of port. Okay, understood?
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, actually, what is my Harvard architects? He also another example.
Pardon?
Harvard architects.
Uh-huh.
Also another flowchart are present here. First slide, and plus side.
Uh-huh. This slide?
Yes, sir.
Because you know there are different architectures. Okay. This is the because I have intentionally not discussed those other architecture, because this is very common and it is better to stick up to this. Okay. This is also, you can see, if you look at this has same thing, only they have labeled it differently. It has also have the same unit. You just cannot have anything other than this. You can see here. This is ALU. This is instruction. This is memory, control unit, data. This is instruction memory, data memory, and I/O. So this is presentation is different. Presentation is different, but units are same. This I believe that this is a little bit difficult. This is easier. That is why everybody refers on mnemon architecture to explain microcomputer system. But you need to know, that is why I have given on the screen only, but I have not touched upon those points, because I thought, because my ultimate role is to tell you the simplest thing, right? But if you look at this, nothing, I mean, these are same, but the presentation is different. But this looks very difficult presentation. It looks very easy. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, hello.
Yes.
Sir, I also ask you one question another. So I think suppose I am use cell phone, so something data and something some material. Suppose you send me slide and others. He also example of data bus.
Ardan, can you repeat?
Sir, suppose any person send me in my cell phone any material, educational material, videos, other.
That is data.
All this data bus.
Data. That is data. That is
Okay,
data actually. Yes, it will come through data bus. In fact, you know, let me tell you, because whatever these buses I'm talking about, this is within the processor I'm talking about. Okay. Now the example you are quoting, this is outside, right? This is outside, because these buses consist of buses within the microprocessor. You have got microprocessor. Okay, within the microprocessor or within the microcomputer, we are talking about bus concept, right? Outside is also buses, but it will be a kind of extended version. It will be kind of extended version. You are not going to have a group of layers, because I told you bus means a group of wires. Then you may ask me question, sir, I got data without wires. And you said bus means group of wires, right? So group of wires is within the processor. This, because this is through open air, you are getting data, right? Through open air, this is in the form of electromagnetic waves, and then we have to decode the data, because data is coded. You need antenna to convert that data, right? So we have got all those facilities available here. We have got receiving antenna which will convert that coded information. It will decode the information, right? And then that can be utilized. This is a very complex device, right? So whenever I'm talking about group of wires and all that, I am restricting myself this concept of bus within the microprocessor. Okay, that you need to understand.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Again, it is going to be disconnected. You have to rejoin at your earliest. Okay. No question.
Sir, what? Hello.
हाँ बोल बेटा.
Can you listen, sir?
Yes. I'm following you.
Sir, what is difference between RAM and ROM?
Okay, good question. RAM and ROM is something like RAM is random access memory. Let me tell you the long form first. Please unmute yourself. Everybody, please unmute. Once you finish your question, please unmute, because there is background noise. Okay. So RAM is random. First of all, let me tell you the long form. RAM is random access memory. ROM is read-only memory. Okay. What is the basic difference? RAM is volatile. ROM is not non-volatile. Okay. These are some compare and contrast point. I can go use some example. In our we also have RAM and ROM. We also have RAM and ROM. For example, there are some let us say last year you studied quantum mechanics. Okay. If I start asking you some concept of quantum mechanics, you may not be able to recollect today. Okay, which you have learned just last year. But I'm sure if I ask you one particular movie which you must have seen 1 year back, you will be able to explain that to me. Okay, why it is happening? Why it is happening? Because what you did, because you have got ROM as well as RAM. So whatever information is coming to you, it is up to you where to store. If you are storing it in ROM, you will be able to recollect it anytime, anywhere in your entire life. But if it is in RAM, it is volatile. It is going to disappear. तो usually हमारी tendency क्या होती है पता है? जो हमें अच्छा लगता है ना, that we always keep in ROM. Okay, that we always keep in ROM. Whereas जो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगता, वो हम कभी ज्यादा स्टोर नहीं करना चाहते, वो हम RAM में, scratch pad memory. It's a scratch pad memory, right? Now, moreover, this is all about ROM and RAM of human being. Now, actual ROM and RAM of computer, as far as computer is concerned, if you are having RAM, you at any time the information can be stored, at any time information can be retrieved. Whereas as far as ROM is concerned, you cannot do it, because RAM is called as read-write memory. Okay, read-write means जब चाहे तब read कर सकते हो, जब चाहे तब आप write कर सकते हो. But ROM is called as read-only memory. तो write कब करना? आप जब चाहे तब read कर सकते हो, but write कब कर सकते हो? It depends on what kind of ROM you have. It is like PROM, EPROM, E-square ROM, right? PROM is programmable read-only memory. Programmable, let us say first of all ROM. Okay, ROM is once एक बार manufacturer ने जो भी उसमें लिख कर दिया है, बस that is the only information which the ROM is having. You cannot do anything. Okay, now programmable read-only memory. It means you have got PROM, you can program on your own. You can store some information, right? लेकिन program हम आसानी से नहीं कर सकते. It requires special tools to program, right? Then there is a EPROM. EPROM is erasable programmable read-only memory. means you can erase also, you can program also. मतलब you can store the information, you can erase the information. जब चाहे तब read कर सकते हो, जब program store कर सकते हो या write कर सकते हो, जब चाहे तब आप erase कर सकते हो. Now you tell me what kind of ROM you have, whether you have ROM, PROM or BPROM, as far as your human this mind is memory is concerned. Anybody can respond. Whether you are having ROM, PROM or EPROM. Anybody can unmute and tell me.
EEPROM, sir.
EPROM, exactly. You have EPROM क्योंकि हम क्या करते हैं, कुछ जैसे कि मान लो एक इंफॉर्मेशन है, मैं उसको इरेज भी करता हूँ. जैसे कि एक मूवी मैंने देखी, मुझे अच्छी लगी, इसलिए मैंने क्या किया रोम में, लेकिन उसको एक समय होता है. जैसे कि मान लो पिछले साल का मूवी तुम ध्यान रखोगे, लेकिन अगर 20 साल पहले अगर कोई मूवी देखा होगा तो you will not be able to recollect because your ROM also has some limitations. तो मान लो जगह खाली नहीं है, तो what you will do, you are going to erase and you are going to program new information. So we have EPROM, right? I hope you understood the difference between ROM and RAM. You understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anybody else? Anybody else having any question?
No,
If you
sir.
don't, okay. Let me move further then. Now let us. I will be spending a little bit more time on microcomputer system. Now you can see, as far as microcomputer system is concerned, we have got microcomputer, peripheral IO devices, software, and again in software we have got system software and application software. Now what is microcomputer? मैंने जैसा बताया आपको, microcomputer means you have got input minimum. Microcomputer means input device, CPU and output device. Okay, input device, CPU and output device. Now what are the peripherals? Device which are connected to CPU. Device which are connected to CPU. जैसे कि अभी ये देखिए, this is CPU. Okay, this is CPU. Now there are two devices here. This is input device and this is output device. Okay, so these become peripheral devices. There are three input devices rather. Two input devices. This keyboard, mouse, these are two input devices, and monitor is output device. So these are called as peripheral devices because these devices are in the periphery of CPU. Why it is called peripheral devices? Because these are in the periphery of CPU. Okay, understood? Then we have got software. There are again in software there are two different software: system software and application.